So I started keto in 2019, and here we are in 2026, and I am telling you that I quit keto. And so I am going to tell you why I started keto in the first place. I'm going to tell you why I decided to quit, and I'm going to let you know what I am doing now. So here we go. So first of all, I just want to say welcome back. I know it has been a minute since I have been here. I have not shared with you my journey or what I'm doing in a long time. I've been busy. Life has been busy. And that's always my excuse. Every time I've been gone for a while and I come back, and that's always my excuse. I've been busy, which I have. I mean, life is busy. What can I say? So, anyway, for those of you who have been following me for a long time, welcome back. I'm happy to be here. For those of you who are new, welcome to my channel. I hope you get some kind of valuable information out of me sharing my journey and my experiences with you. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to tell you, go back and explain to you why I started keto in the first place, explain why I decided to quit, and tell you what I'm doing now. So I started keto back in 2019 after so many different diets. Like, I know you all can relate. It's like you go through all of, these things and try all the fad diets and everything out there. And what I was finding back then is every time I really wanted to see some results, we always find those little plans where, people will say, hey, if you want to drop a bunch of weight for this event or this vacation, do this for 5 days or 7 days or 14 days or whatever. So I found myself doing those kind of, short-term plans often because, I was always trying to find something that worked. And so what I noticed was when I would do those plans, I would feel really good. And I started to think, why am I feeling so good when I'm doing these types of plans? And what I discovered was basically those plans were cutting out carbs. They would focus on eating protein and vegetables and healthy fats, and they would really reduce how many carbs you were eating. And so I started to put it together, and I realized, I actually feel so much better when I'm not eating carbs. And so that is what led me down my research and reading and educating myself about keto. And that's what led me to start keto back in 2019, is because every time I would try an eating plan that reduced my carbs, I would feel better. And so my whole goal is just to feel good. I just want to feel good. And so that's what got me to start keto. So there are a lot of reasons that people try keto. Some people will try keto because they want to lose weight. Some people will try keto because the ketones are very helpful when you have a brain disorder. So, some people with brain disorders will do keto for that reason. And then some people try keto just to help with inflammation, reduce the inflammation in their body to help with symptoms of different types of health conditions. And so that's kind of why I started keto and why I stayed with keto, because I have IBS, I've got, lots of inflammation issues. And so keto just made me feel really good. And that's my ultimate goal. And that's ultimately why I started keto and why I stayed with keto for so long. However, I will say I was eating a lot of vegetables. And so as someone that has IBS, it took me a while to understand that those vegetables were part of what was making me feel really bad. And so, a lot of the keto recipes, they, include a lot of vegetables, like specifically like, broccoli and cauliflower and things like that, things that make me feel terrible. But I was eating them because I thought that they were okay. And anyway, it just wasn't working for me. And after a lot of additional food experiments and researching, I discovered that the vegetables were kind of making me not feel very good either. So by 2021, I was very close to being carnivore, very close. I was still having some things, in my eating plan that were not completely carnivore, but for the most part, I was like eating, meat, eggs, cheese, that's, some pickles. That's kind of my basic eating plan for a long time. And, but here's the thing. So while I love keto, while I love carnivore, I believe in them fully. I think that they are amazing. I think they're amazing tools. I think, it's a great lifestyle to live. Very healthy, very beneficial. But, and I feel a little silly saying this is my weakness. And this is ultimately, I believe, what led me down this path to deciding to stop keto. And I know this feels weird to say this, but my favorite food in this world, my favorite food is sushi. And honestly, it makes me so happy, and I don't want to give it up. I don't want to. I don't want to. It is my favorite food. And if I have to follow a plan that forces me to give up the one food that I love more than any other food in the world, then that's miserable. I don't want to do that. I love sushi. I love rice. It's all about the rice. And so what I was finding is that I was frequently wanting to eat sushi. And so I would be really, really good most of the time with, staying keto or I call carnivore keto without the vegetables. And so I was basically ketovore very strictly for most of the days, but I would always have these times very often that I just wanted my sushi. I just wanted it. And I know that, a lot of people will say, well, you could just do sushi with cauliflower rice or whatever. But here's the thing. It's not the same. It doesn't taste the same. And for someone that has IBS, I don't tolerate cauliflower. And it took me a long time to understand that too, that I just don't eat cauliflower. Every time I eat it, it makes me miserable. So that's not an option. So what I was finding is, yes, I would stay very strict ketovore, but I would frequently have days where I would do carb days so I could have my sushi. And so what would happen is I would be like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I'm having carbs anyway. I might as well just have a carb day, or I might as well have a carb weekend. And so I would end up not just having my sushi, but I would also eat bread, eat pasta, sometimes I would eat desserts, like feel miserable. I would feel so miserable. And so, then I would be like, okay, well, I know I can't eat carbs. They make me feel bad. That's why I got to stick with keto or carnivore or ketovore. And, I just can't eat carbs. They just make me feel bad. And what I didn't realize, I'm telling you, like, if I would have a weekend where I would allow myself to eat carbs, come Monday morning, I was absolutely miserable. And when I say miserable from the carbs, I'm talking about my whole body was inflamed. I would wake up with, oh my gosh, let me see if I can find a picture of what I would look like, because I took a picture and it was not good. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I'm back. I just went through my photos and I found this picture. And before I show it to you, I just have to say, so this is what would happen to me when I would have a carb weekend. I would retain water, get very bloated, get very inflamed. My face would swell up. And then like I would have the worst, that wasn't even the worst part of it. The worst part of it was I would have this brain fog, like severe brain fog and fatigue. And I would not recover from that for probably 2 or 3 days. So like if I had a carb weekend, Monday morning, I would wake up feeling like total crap. And then it would take me until probably Wednesday before I would start to feel normal again, which is just bizarre that I would even do that to myself. But let me show you this picture that I took. This was after a carb weekend where I ate a lot of things I shouldn't have eaten. And my face. This is my inflamed face after a carb weekend. I know. It's horrible, right? It's miserable. So anyway, so I have this mindset where I'm just like, well, I obviously I can't eat carbs. I just need to stay away from carbs. And I was miserable. I wanted my sushi. I wanted to enjoy my favorite food. So anyway, then I kind of started experimenting a little bit more. And I was like, well, what if I just eat my sushi? Like, what if I just have one meal of just my sushi and then the rest of the day I still stay keto or carnivore and whatever. So I would do that and I would feel fine. Like I could just, as long as I didn't go off the rails and eat bread and pasta and all of that stuff, then I was okay. So I would enjoy my sushi when I wanted it, have my sushi day, and then just jump right back into keto, which was fine. And so I learned that I felt okay with that. And that was awesome. So then I started to experiment a little bit more with other foods. And basically what I've learned is there are carbs that I can eat and still feel really good. There are carbs I cannot eat, or I will end up like this. And so I don't want to be like that. I hate it when I feel like that and when I look like that, and it's horrible. So anyway, what I have learned is I can eat rice. I can eat potatoes. And I'm talking about as far as carbs, I can eat rice, I can eat potatoes. Obviously, I can eat like low FODMAP vegetables that don't irritate my IBS. I can do that. Um, I can actually eat some fruit. It doesn't really make me feel bad. What I cannot eat basically is gluten, sugar, uh, yeah. Oh, and like processed stuff. Like I've noticed that when I eat things that have seed oils, then I feel very inflamed as well. And so what I have learned is it's not necessarily that carbs make me feel bad. It's the type of carbs, because I have done some experimenting over the last few months. I can do potatoes, I can do rice, I can do gluten-free bread and still feel okay. I can do gluten-free, like the gluten-free wraps, and still feel okay. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of been an eye-opening thing for me, because I've gone through the last few years believing that I absolutely can't have any carbs whatsoever, zero, or I'm going to feel bad. But the truth is, it was just I was eating the carbs that I shouldn't be eating, like the bread and the pasta and all that stuff, and like the pizza. It's like, yes, I love pizza, but if I eat pizza that has gluten in the crust, then I end up feeling bad. And it's just been a real learning process. But what I have discovered over the last few months is that I can still eat certain carbs and still feel good. So I don't necessarily need to be keto to feel good. And that's my goal. I just want to feel good. Now, I will tell you that the less of those carbs I eat, the better I feel. So I'm still enjoying some carbs, but I basically have decided to focus on carb cycling. So I have my low carb days, I have my high carb days. Most of the time, like during the week, I'm trying to stay very low carb. On the weekends, I'm doing more carbs. But still, no matter what carb, whether I'm doing a low carb or high carb, I'm just eating the right carbs. I'm not eating all of the bread and pasta and all of the junk that makes me feel bad. If I'm having carbs on a specific day, it's the carbs are coming from fruits and vegetables, or they're coming from potatoes and rice, or they might be coming from some kind of a gluten-free bread or tortilla or something like that. I haven't tried gluten-free pasta yet, but I'm thinking I am probably going to try that. So basically that's where I'm at now. So I still have my days where I'm focused on eating low carb, but just to be clear, keto and low carb are not the same. Low carb is just what it sounds like. It's just eating fewer carbs. Keto, and I think that a lot of people don't necessarily understand this, but keto means that you're eating your carbs so low that it forces your body to burn fat for energy and produce ketones. That's where the name keto comes from. The ketogenic diet is called keto because you're putting your body into a state of ketosis and your body is, releasing ketones. And so low carb doesn't necessarily put you into ketosis. And so low carb is not the same as keto. That is kind of a misconception that I think a lot of people don't understand. Keto, to be keto, you're actually getting your body into ketosis. You're actually producing ketones. Low carb is just low carb. So, I might have a day where I have maybe 20 or 30 carbs. I might have a day where I have maybe 50 or 60 carbs. And that's still considered low carb. So I'm just not bringing them so far down to where, I can say that I'm still doing keto. So in a sense, I'm still enjoying the low carb lifestyle. I'm doing it with carb cycling. I'm just not ever really getting my body back into ketosis like I used to, which is fine because I feel good. I used to feel really, really good when my body would be in ketosis and when I had high ketones. But what I'm finding is I feel really good now as long as I stay away from the inflammatory foods, the processed foods, the gluten, seed oils, and like all of that stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at now with what I'm doing. And for everyone that's been watching me for a while, you know that I'm constantly doing food experiments and constantly like adjusting my macros and all of that. But for the most part right now, my goal is high protein. I'm not going super low with my fat, but I'm not eating, sticks of butter and eating really high fat like I used to. I am focused on fats like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, those kinds of fats. And then my carbs just fluctuate, just, depending on where I am in my carb cycling days. So anyway, that's my story. That is why I decided to quit keto, still doing low carb, just not doing keto, not low carb every day, doing carb cycling. And that's where I'm at. So anyway, I'm going to continue sharing my journey. If you are curious to, stay up to date with what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to try really hard in my busy schedule to do more videos. I will say I do have a Facebook page, and I do actually I share quite a bit on my Facebook page, probably more so than I do on YouTube. I have Instagram, I have, Facebook and all of that. But anyway, let me see if I can find okay, so this is my Facebook page. And then this is my Instagram if you want to follow along. And then, yeah. So I just want to say thanks for watching. And I will try really hard to share more videos and let you know what I'm doing. So please, please, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.